Peace everyone, this is X144, Weapon Beats Rhymes Film Studio, Ozone, Florida. You're watching Burl TV. I hadn't recorded anything into it yet besides my 2-track mixes. So the first time, and we had like one more track to finish on Kasai's album, and the first time that we actually tracked vocals, you know, I was in here just in the control room, and you know, my posture changed. I was like, you know, I started looking around because I started to time travel in my mind, and I just couldn't pinpoint what was happening and what I was hearing, but the energy that was being captured, just the sonic fidelity and characteristics, just the energy itself. That's the best way I could describe it. Just it reminded me of the time I first went to a recording studio and they were recording the tape, and that's when I realized that, you know, there was something absolutely special about the B2, because you know I'm up in here by myself like, what the fuck is that? So it really transformed it and actually excited me, and it actually, the best way I could say it is that after that experience recording with the B2, it inspired me and excited me to record again, because I primarily mix and master, and you know, I kind of shied away from recording for a really long time until I had the B2, and like, I just can't wait to record anything. You know, I look for any excuse to record anything, and it's a good feeling. I'm excited about recording again because it has that energy again. It has that vibe that I felt was lost when, you know, going to you know, DAWs. And yeah, man, I mean, it's the closest thing to tape that we're gonna get for right now. And you know, and these guys are the pioneers. Who knows what's to come in the future? I just hammered it. I cranked down the attenuator, was at -22 or whatever, and it just created that vibe, man. I mean, a vibe that a plugin really can't provide you. You know what I'm saying? So that kind of became my thing. Like, I just found, you know, whatever signal source sounded best going through that process and being hammered, and I felt like the harder I hit it, the better it felt. And you know, I'm really excited about it, man. I can't really express that enough. The Burl stuff has got me really geeked on recording, and I haven't really felt that in a really long time. I was on the hunt for the A to D, 2-track A to D converter to capture my mixes, and I wanted it to be like super transparent, sound exactly the way it does with the analog output of my Summon mixer. And once I got my hands on a B2 and started living with it and started printing my mixes with it, I just noticed that something really changed. It emulates the essence and the vibe of tape. You know, the characteristics of tape, what you would expect from tape. The harder you push into it, the more saturation you get. You know, it softens the transients a bit, but it's actually very it's very, I wouldn't say transparent or clean, or I mean, it's actually, yeah, it does it in a really clean way. So it's not like, you know, a saturation effect or anything like that. It's actually something that you might not really notice on, you know, at first listen. Like, within the first few seconds, you have to really search for where your gains and your losses are. But it's super musical. The mixes sounded almost as good as like a final master. I had made the investment into a Mothership just to try it out, and just to hear the D-to-A, and specifically for summing, to hit my summing mixer. And I feel like this is kind of slept on. I feel like D-to-A conversion is not where everything shines, right? It's not like it's not the prettier side of conversion, right? Everybody talks about the A to D because of the transformer inputs and so on when it comes to Burl stuff, but there's not enough talk about that D to A. And you know, the D-to-A conversion kind of does something to the signal that I haven't really heard before, and it kind of, you know, testing out all these converters, I really believe that we really won't know what it sounds like off the hard drive. Like, it's just going to be a different interpretation from gear to gear. But the way Burl does it, it's super musical. It's exactly what Will says it is. It's reality, but better. The stereo image is wider. The front to back image has way more depth. The mid range is smooth and elegant in a way. The highs are not hyped. It's actually very natural, and then the low just drops, you know, to the floor. And that's probably the thing that you're going to notice instantly, and you might actually think it's an effect when really it's not. It's just that extension that really doesn't exist anywhere else. So you really, you know, really understand the benefits of the BDA-8 cards once you start mixing and start processing stuff. Once you start, you know, EQing things, you start to realize that the way it's interpreting those movements in the EQ sort of, I mean, obviously influences your decisions, but it actually helps to highlight how sophisticated the D-to-A conversion really is. And it, you know, the highs, as natural as they sound, once you start lifting things up and just hearing all the air that's there in the signal, it kind of changes your perception on what, you know, digital conversion should sound like, because it sounds, it's definitely the furthest away from digital sounding as a converter can possibly be that I've come across. And man, I can't imagine living any days without using their stuff.